What's going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of what we're calling Tower Talk. We're kind of experimenting with this here at PlanetDestiny, a sort of a mini podcast, and I have with me Versus the Stream and Blue Westlow.
Hey
Say
guys, how are you?
How you doing?
So good to be doing this. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm actually dancing right now. Like the Harlem Shake is super strong
Dancing,
right now. Like
yeah.
I am an emote. Like I can become a Destiny emote right now. It's so cool.
That's fantastic. So in this mini podcast, what we want to do is kind of drill into one or two topics a little bit more deeper, and also kind of keep it shorter for you guys that might not necessarily be able to listen to an hour and a half or 2 hour podcast. And I think this week's topic that we're going to be diving into is fatigue, Destiny fatigue. What do you guys think about that?
Me personally, someone who streams the game literally every day, have been going through this, and it is tough, dude. Like it is legitimately tough. But luckily, I play on both consoles, so I found this as the perfect opportunity to start working on my Xbox characters. I literally cannot go back to PlayStation until the reset, and thankfully Iron Banner is coming this week, so that'll help out for a week.
For hardcore players, after a 2-month period, it's with any Destiny expansion, you finish all the content. The only thing that's holding people here, I think, for raids and stuff is the prospect of 320, which no one can even get to 320 without getting the 320 artifact. So
Yeah.
even
Artifacts,
then,
yeah.
people aren't going to want to, religiously stick to this game for week after week, day after day.
I was going to say, I've found that I haven't really been interested in getting 320 of everything.
Same here.
Lately.
Same here.
Like I could kind of care less if I get a 320 arms, chest, headpiece, anything. The weapons are nice to have 320, but like
Yeah, before I
exactly.
say
I
my
feel like,
reason why I'm
what's it
not
gonna
looking
do
forward
for
to
me?
that, I want to let Blue finish before I go to the reason why I don't care anymore.
Well, anyways, I was going to finish by saying I think this is in a roundabout way, this is kind of what Bungie I think wants, because a lot of the hardcore base is already finished, which the hardcore base is always going to finish first. But as far as like casual players who only get to play like maybe 4 or 5 hours every couple nights, those people probably still have a pretty good amount to do. Probably going to still run the raid because maybe they're not hard raid ready yet.
Yeah, something I don't think about is the Christmas or the new people that are coming in from Christmas time.
The year 2 noobs.
Christmas noobs.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Holiday
they
noobs.
have
The
inherited the Earth. They got all the cool content to play through.
Kindergarten.
And a lot of them just straight up have... A lot of them straight up don't have burnout. And I noticed that for a lot of people on Twitter who haven't rushed through the content, they don't have burnout. They have a lot of time to play. So as much as Bungie loves their hardcore community, they also are thinking about the casual community, the majority of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Well, it's weird for me though. I haven't gone through everything. I mean, I've gone through the bulk of it because obviously I've done hard mode raid and done trials and collected most of the exotics, but I haven't gotten them all. Like I haven't gotten the first curse for obvious reasons, and I haven't. I actually just got Fabian.
Shout out
I
to
dismantled it. I got it the other day and dismantled it.
Did you?
Yeah.
He got the Grimoire, he got the Grimoire and then he was done.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool, bye.
Oh my goodness. Who knows if I'm going to take the time with that specific quest. And I also haven't gotten the no time to explain exotic yet. I literally just got Fabian strategy today. I don't know. I mean, I still feel this feeling of a burnout / I need more content. But I feel like it's emphasized with the fact that Bungie hasn't told us what's coming.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to actually go into where I'm thinking, what are we doing this for? You know what I mean? Like, your reasons to want to get the no time to explain other than collecting. What would your reasons to get the first curse? What would be your reasons to continuously run the hard way to get to 320?
Especially when I have a Hawksaw that has Headseeker.
Exactly.
Oh my
so,
God.
Like,
What's
that's
my purpose?
like balancing is another conversation. We'll talk about that, sometime soon. But we want to work towards something, and I think that's what Destiny's been lacking this whole time, honestly, for people like us who play it as often as we do. I want to be able to run the raid, and I want to be able to be like, okay, when we get to 320, this unlocks for us to do. Now we have this something really incredible, like something crazy, because we know the game's moving into a MMO route, which is their
They're
goal.
slowly
at the end
taking
of the day.
steps.
Yeah, they're slowly
and
going there.
Taken King
and-
has been the biggest notifier that, hey, we're gonna.
Oh yeah, and I want us to be able to work towards something big. Like Oryx fight was awesome, and they obviously proved they can make giant boss fights. Maybe like you can even put stuff that isn't there for a main story, but it's lore. It's in the lore. but it's not part of the main story. Like maybe like a hidden boss fight for people in 320 that it's enemies we never really seen, but it was talked about. So now we get to fight this giant boss as part of. They can make something up. Whereas like they found a way to create more Kara, and now here you got to go fight one or something like that. You know, fight something crazy.
Even
at
like a
320
tiny
now.
story.
I'm sorry,
every now and
versus.
then.
I'm sorry, versus. Those are extinct. I'm so sorry. I
Oh
mean, those
my
are
God.
extinct
How
species.
dare
believes
you?
you.
How,
No one
do you even
believes
watch
that.
Wally's videos? Do you even watch his videos?
No one believes that. Tefty, please. But
Do
I
you
hate
even
to
read
bring
the
it,
lore?
I hate to compare it to other games, but it's really the little things too that they don't have to have these big DLC missions for us. You know, they don't have to have a big story every week. They don't have to have a big quest every week. It's even just little tiny things that people work toward that keep them hooked. I hate to compare it to games like Battlefield and Call of Duty and stuff like that. But the reason people keep being so invested in those games is because there's little things to work toward. You could work toward weapon skins. You could work toward new attachments. You could work toward prestige. Everything you're doing is working toward something, even if you don't necessarily realize it. You're working toward emblems.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily know you're unlocking new
Even at max level, you
parts
do it all
for-
over again because you want to get something special
even at
or
max
reaching
level, it's just all these tiny little things, these little tiny things that go every little aspect of the game that you're working toward that keep people coming back. And I think that's a lot of the reason why people get burnt out in Destiny PvP so quickly is because there's nothing to work toward in Destiny PvP. It's Trials of Osiris is the end game and Iron Banner, and that's it. And there's nothing else. There's nothing to work toward.
They did the weekly bounties though for PvP.
I still haven't even done them. Like I haven't even gotten
Yeah,
to
but
that
it's
yet.
like, can we really count Nightfall rewards as like stuff to work toward? Nightfall used to be exotic, you know, the best way to get exotics, and now we have 3 of coins, and we can just farm strikes for them. So
Yep.
exotics are supposed to be like the prime.
Well, you get
reward.
You get 3 coins from the Nightfall.
Yeah, you get 3 of coins from the Nightfall too. So the exotics used to be like the prime, like the holy grail of Rarity endgame content, and now we can get that stuff from anything, which is cool, but it also hurts stuff like the Nightfall a lot because there's no rarity to doing the Nightfall anymore.
I had thought that the infusing pathway that they created was going to be really would have like a real long tail type of feel to it, where right now I'd be excited to try to get more infusement material. But like I said, even when I get something that's like higher than 315, I'm moderately excited about it now because like you guys were talking about, there's no thing to go and do to test your 320 light level character at. And I think like that really is the problem that they're giving, or the problem that they've created right now. They created all this fantastic new content with the Taken King, but then they didn't give us a reason to use that stuff in an end game fashion aside from trials.
As far as we know, there's no reason to be 320 besides your 320. As opposed to the last expansions, you had to be max level to finish the hard raid. Now it's like, oh, well, you have to be 310 to do the hard raid, and 320 is just there.
Yeah, exactly.
And something
like 311, you're good to go.
And something else that, you know, something that I personally like to do, which I like to find as, you know, goals where I would go into strikes for hours and just literally just work towards these exotic guns that used to be extremely random and extremely rare. And as much as I love the 3 of coins, as much as I love it and how it feels good to see that yellow engram pop out of a boss fight, they need to do something with, like, tweak it. I literally got in every exotic literally with like less than 2 months. I got in every exotic in 2 months, less than that compared to this whole year, entire, you know, year one.
It broke it.
Yeah, it took me months to get one Monte Carlo, and I got everything in less than 2 months. And I loved going into strikes and spending hours just to get one multi-tool. You know what I mean? Like that felt really good, and it gave you some sort of goal. Like, all right, today, this week, I'm working towards this gun. You can't do that anymore. Now it's like this hour, I'm working towards this gun.
That was the problem everyone had in year one. And I think they kind of overcompensated in that now we don't have enough rarity in year two. And honestly, I think the quests where you work toward exotic are a step in the right direction, but I think it's super disappointing that we don't really work for those exotics. It's like either time gated or we have to do like literally 2 quest parts and then you get the exotic. And like in a matter of like 3-4 hours, you can get it.
And they're really easy to get too. They're really, really easy.
Whereas I think it would be awesome and it would add a lot more rarity to the game if we had to really, really do a lot of steps to get a certain exotic. In the same way you have to, again, I hate bringing it back to other games, in the same way in Battlefield or Call of Duty, if you wanted the final level of a gun, if you wanted like a final camo, if we went the same route with exotics, it could be cool because we would have to grind. But when you get that exotic, it's like with that guy that guy really went through hell to get that exotic. Like that's his exotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I think the swords have the most.
The swords are.
I don't think
an amazing
that.
example.
I think the swords split a lot of people because not everyone does PvP, so they locked it towards PvP only. And of course, you're quote unquote working on it, but it's as easy as taking 2 friends to Rumble and meeting here and here. And
yeah, well, not even that though. Not even that. Like when you do the end of it, when you have to collect the resources and get kills, the ability kills. I feel like that's arguably the longest.
Yeah, that's like a lot of it's based off of RNG though, because of the whole looking for the sources to craft the sword itself. You have to go to like a planet, and some people literally took days to get it. Some people took 2 hours to get theirs, and I'm not a big fan of locking things behind RNG.
I said amazing example because the last mission to get your sword is a great mission. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just take anyone to go get that sword. You have to take
that was
a team that knows what they're doing. It's a great. That was really the difficulty is insane, and
hopefully they do more.
It's like
more of that.
Yeah, more stuff like that would be awesome. Like, just right now, there's just no earning anything.
I agree. I thought it was annoying. I thought the PvP side of it was annoying, and then the collecting the materials was annoying. But overall, the exotic sword quests are very satisfying once you collect that sword.
The sword's so good.
I think part of the problem also... the swords are incredible. But I think also part of the problem is that once you've acquired these weapons, you dump like 10 to 20 motes of light into them with a telemetry. And then they're unlocked, and that's it. You can infuse them. But again, the infusing system was really exciting at first, but now has kind of come to you don't really need to be higher than 312. I think the infusing system, you can get everything done.
We won't see how good the infusion system actually holds up until we go into new expansions and can bring our old gear.
Yeah,
I think the infusion system is the right answer to moving to expansions while bringing gear right now. But I mean, I think it's less an issue of the infusion system and more the issue of there's nothing to do once you level yourself through this infusion system.
Yeah. And that's the thing we're talking about, right? This whole subject is fatigue, and the thing that I think we should definitely talk about now is what can we do? Like for someone who, if they ever came to us and were like, "Hey, Blue, Tefty, and Ab, like I'm having trouble finding things to do. Like, what would you recommend? Maybe possibly try out different games for a little bit, then come back to it because there's so many different games coming out right now, and they do add a little bit of, some fresh air to it going in between." I think they need more of that whole thing Blue's talking about. They need some sort of little mini goals to work towards. Not the biggest things, like the small things. And I think hopefully they add additions to the game where they give us that. Maybe add shaders for guns. Like, hey, you get this many kills holding this gun. You unlock this shader for that gun. You know what I mean? Like,
it'd be awesome if you got some sort of weird glowing skin on your Hawksaw because you got
that'd be super cool.
Or ended so many like rifts near or close calls on rifts or something like that. Like, had to end like 10 or 20 or something like that of people nearly getting a rift, igniting them.
Yeah, unique reward.
That'd be so cool.
In the same way you get like strike boss rewards, like they're unique to the strike bosses. You can get stuff unique to playlists. Like there's just a lot of stuff they can make that maybe they're thinking of, but would be really good goals for people to work toward.
Like that'd be cool. Like you're talking about the Rift thing. Like wouldn't that be awesome to be playing Rift and you stopped 100 people right when they're they're in the middle of dunking, but you killed them. So you got this really cool purple glowing. Exactly, you got a purple and white glowing shader for your gun. Like that would be sick. Like, hey, that guy's playing Rift with us. He stopped a lot of people. I think it'd be pretty interesting to have him on our team.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
You know what's interesting also is that they took away the Grimoire. Year one, your Grimoire showed technically how much you played the game, and that's gone now. So like I haven't even thought about the last time I looked at my Grimoire because I barely even think about it nowadays. And in a way, these shaders and unlocks like that, just like with the Call of Duty system, is very similar to that. It's how much time and effort you've put in to the game modes. Yeah, it shows off to the game modes, and then you've unlocked a particular type of skin or emblem or something like that that signifies that. And you guys are right. They need some sort of progression system like that in order to
keep us hooked.
Carry us through to the next content, the next big release.
I would love that. Like it's like we said before. We'll be like we're constantly saying we're not asking for a huge DLC pack. Like you now have tests, and we've seen tests give free things to people. You can even use like tests for people who want more, and then you can use a character in the tower to give them a little bit of that. The same way they did with the masks. And like they have so many ways to do these things, and just a matter of how they can actually successfully pull it off.
Yeah, and I think
I'd
the
like to see
community
it.
kind of has this weird thing where they're like, I think they're expecting there to be a downtime between DLCs,
Mm-hmm.
and it's purely because we're kind of conditioned to expect that. But I mean, there's still always possibility that we don't have to think like that with a lot of little mini goals. And I know challenge mode is coming up too, and it'd be cool if maybe we could have more challenge modes like that. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, hey, like, don't go back to old content, but Bungie does have a lot of amazing
Really
content
good
that
stuff back then.
maybe they don't have to completely rework, but they can kind of include, because they already do it with year 2 stuff. They do it with No Time to Explain, Fall to Glass. You know, there's no reason they can't possibly do it with like Crota's End. They don't have to redo stuff, but maybe
not even just raids.
Have it kind of inclusive. Yeah, not even
What
just
if-
raids.
what if
but
they have like a-
there's a
what if
lot
they have
of
like a
great
strike
content they can
playlist?
reuse.
What if there's a strike playlist called Challenge, you know, like a challenge strike playlist where they have every single strike from the game from year 1 and year 2, and they have challenges. Not like Nightfall, because they have like, I'm not even sure what the new challenge mode's going to be, if it's like Nightfall stuff or completely different with goals. But yeah, that'd be cool. A strike playlist where you do Sepix Prime and it tells you like a timer comes on top left, and it's always random. It's never the same challenge, but a timer will come up. All right, beat the strike in this much time. And if we had these things, like we'd be busy talking to our friends. All right, guys,
We'd be busy
which
working on
goal
them.
are we going for this week? You know what I mean? Like we'd be busy talking about
Yeah.
what to do next instead of what game to play next. And I think that's something
Yeah,
that
like kill Atheon
exactly,
only with primary.
or even kill Atheon this many times with a full fire. You know, like I mean, like of course a full fire team, but maybe like even just kill this many times. You know what I mean? Like because we still love. I love playing it. I love playing Vault of Glass, and that'll give us more reason to go back to that content, especially if they put the level up and make it so level 43 20s have reasons to go back there. You know, that'd be really cool.
What do you think Bungie needs to do now for the next content release? Because in my personal opinion, I do expect another content release. I'm waiting for news.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Bungie to be like,
Yeah.
this is the future, because I don't want to go through year 2 thinking the Taken King was it, and I get a Festival of Lost update every now and then, and I'd be like, what? I don't care about bunny rabbits because it's April. I want content. I want a raid.
Before Blue answers that, Blue also hangs out with a lot of us who play throughout the day while he's at work and stuff like that. Do you think you being around us and knowing that we've done all this stuff also contributes to you feeling the same fatigue everyone else is feeling, since you literally don't play for the majority of the day? Or is it just you do so much afterwards that you're still on par
Well,
with
the thing
everyone
is,
else?
even though I kind of like keep tabs on what everyone's doing, it's still really easy for me to keep up with everyone, despite me being gone the whole day. You know, I might not have like my exotic list of weapons and armor might not be like fully completed, but I'll still get like the main meat of what everyone's doing done. You know, that meat though. So even though I have a very casual schedule on the game, I do put as much time as I can in to be like close to hardcore. Because despite me saying that
you're casually
I have
hardcore?
casual hours, I am still on the hardcore side because I still get everything done. I've still had everything done. You know, I got hard mode done like the day it came out, and then after that, it's like, well, nice. That's it. You know, I do trials, I do Iron Banner, all that stuff. It gets done. And then I don't have anything to do.
So you're saying you're really smart with your time management.
I guess I could say that. Yeah, sure. Why not? Anyways, what was the first question?
What were we even
So the
talking
question
about?
is, what does Bungie need to bring to the table? What do they need to bring
What do
for
you
us
want?
to
What do
be
you want
like,
next?
oh my god?
There's so much. They have so many set pieces. They have so many places to go. They can reuse all this stuff, and they kind of already do in story missions. But they could also reuse it in an end game for us to do something with. Kind of like what Versus said, and that maybe if you do like 10 Volt of Glass challenges, then by the way, here's a year 2 weapon you get. You know. And then I want them to do more future proofing, because they've kind of already done more future proofing in Taken King, obviously with the new infusion system, with quests, with you know, the fact we can now do weekly bounties for Crucible. The Crucible has more reasons to stay there. just think in this next DLC, they probably need to make even more future-proof things so they can continue building on the base of the game and continue building on the base core experience that we have, because even though they've done a lot for Crucible, they still have a pretty long way to go as far as making PvP look as paid attention to as PvE, because PvE is better than it's ever been, and that's because there's a ton to do. Even though we're feeling burnout, like even a ton of PvP players have just been grinding PvE, because there was for 2 months there was never a day where you didn't have something to do.
Do you think if they had added custom games at this point, do you think a lot of our problems with fatigue and all that would have been not necessarily solved, but a lot of it would have been like, oh well, we can still play custom games, we can play against each other, we have tournaments and all that.
The custom games is like really nice for competitive, but the core reason why people don't play PvP isn't because they're competitive, it's because there's nothing to work for. There's no redeeming factor to playing PvP besides maybe doing a couple bounties, maybe finishing a couple bounties for guns. The gun bounties that literally take 3 or 4 hours most of the time.
Like
I don't really think that like only competitive people though would use custom matches.
Not at all.
I feel like custom matches add a lot of variety.
Yeah, because I'll do custom games without the intentions of being competitive, about fun, but no one's gonna want to 1v1 all the time because
Well, but the culture around this game is built up around 3-person squads and 6-person squads for raids, and I feel like some people might want to horse around in PvP, and we don't get that luxury because of without the custom matches.
Definitely, but they have the same thing. I guess we can use Halo as an example, though. Not everyone goes to custom games on Halo unless the servers are down.
The custom games are only gonna fix.
No, I'm not saying it's gonna fix. I'm just saying that I think some people would be less inclined to be like, well, there's nothing to do.
I just think it's a core PvP thing.
I think it will.
The entirety, there's just not much to work for. It would help.
I do think that little percent
very specific people. I think
bring more reasons to come back. Like, hey guys, I'm bored.
Yeah,
I want to go do some custom games and maybe just do like melee only or something fun, because there's so many abilities you can mess with, and I think it'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think it'd be cool to like just have the option there, because more options is never a bad thing.
About 30 minutes.
I feel we could have talked about it for like 30, even 30 more minutes, but we try to get just like the meat. Yeah. We try to give you guys your nutrition, the meat. We try to get you that meat.
Trying to get the meat.
Yeah, to get in there, give you your
delicious,
nice
meaty,
the
getting
good
real
stuff.
meaty like.
Get all juicy.
The old turkey leg. Turkey leg.
Get you wet and stuff.
The old turkey leg. The Thanksgiving turkey leg.
Things even coming up soon.
Meat juice, owl juice. Gonna dip you in the owl juice.
Oh my god.
All right, guys, that is it for the very first episode of Tower Talk. Once again, my name is Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on the Twitter. You can also check out the streams I do for PlanetDestiny, twitch.tv/planet_destiny, and also catch my personal streams as well on Twitch, which is Tefty Teft as well.
You can go ahead, Blue. I'll let you go first.
All right, well, you can follow me on Twitter at BlueWuslow. You can follow me at twitch.tv/BlueWuslow. And then finally, you can follow me on my YouTube, youtube.com. Sub to me on my YouTube, youtube.com/BlueWuslow.
I'm gonna follow. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow too. I'm following right now. Hold on 1 second. I'm subbing first. You can catch me. You can catch me daily in the mornings on twitch.tv/versus_the_stream, VERSUS, not VS. Twitch.tv/versus_the_stream. You can also catch me streaming on PlanetDestiny on weekends, which is pretty awesome. And if you want to talk to me on Twitter off stream and just ask questions and stuff like that, feel free to talk to me on twitter.com/versus_the_stream.
Tower Talk. Thanks so much for listening.
Tower Talk.
Tower Talk.
Tower Talks.
What a beat, huh?
Tower Talks. Tower Talks.
Awesome. Later, guys.
Love you.